This portion of the scheduled meeting of the Egg Harbor Township Committee is being videotaped for broadcast, and due to either technical reasons or topics for discussion that may be held in closed session pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, there may be interruptions in the videotaping of these proceedings, and this meeting will be aired by EHT TV, Channel 97, on Thursday, October the 3rd.
Thank you very much. Could you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Pifero,
Here?
Ellis.
Here.
Hodson.
Yes.
Paul.
Here.
And Frank.
I am here. We have no presentations this evening. We have a public hearing on ordinance 22. Mr. Ridgway, could you read that, please?
I will, thank you, Madam Mayor. An ordinance to vacate a portion of Evans Street as described by meets and bounds. The purpose of this ordinance is to extinguish all public rights to a portion of Evans Street.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to talk about ordinance 22? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Pifero.
Yes.
Excuse me, Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
And Frank.
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 22?
So moved.
Shall I have a second? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Pifero.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
And Frank.
Yes. We have no ordinance introductions this evening, but we do have a resolution in the consent calendar, resolutions 426 through and including 440. Can I have a motion, please? Or questions if anybody has any? Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Roll call?
Pifero.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
And Frank.
Yes. We have resolution 441 authorizing payment of all bills.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Pifero.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
And Frank.
Yes. Resolution 443 is an add-on, which is renewal of an alcohol beverage plenary retail club license. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call?
Pifero.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Hodson.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
And Frank.
Yes. Township Committee approvals. Can I have a motion to approve the Township Committee meeting minutes of September 18th, 2024?
I'll make a motion.
We got a motion and a second there. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the payroll for the month of September 2024 in the amount of $1,621,242.19?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
General public, is there anyone in the public that would like to come address us? Just give us your name and if you're a resident for the record, please.
Barbara Maples, 26 Sturbridge Court, Egg Harbor Township. I just came, I'm sorry, there was a delay. Oh, I just went down. Delay in getting here to thank you for getting the water retention taken care of. We did not have any rats that we have seen, so we're happy about that. We were really, really super nervous when they started digging, and they dug. Honestly, I cannot believe how much was dug out. I don't think they were prepared for how much they dug out. Oh, it was truckloads upon truckloads upon truckloads upon truckloads. They're probably.
They got down to sand? Did they get down to sand?
They didn't. I don't know that they got down to sand. It was still wet and kind of. There had to be 30 trucks trucked out of there.
It's dry
It was.
now? It's dry now?
Yeah. So what they did is they dug out, and of course, like we're watching, every minute trying to figure this out. But anyway, they put down sand. They put down French drains. They did everything. Anyway, it's wide open. It's all cleaned out. It looks great. We did not have any rats pushing back into our yards, thank God.
That's the risk.
that was a risk. That was a risk. And I just wanted to thank you for, it's been almost a year, but thank God it's finally done. I know Tom is super happy to not see my number on caller ID. Yes, and I can be very persistent when it comes to something, but I do appreciate your patience working with me, and I really do thank you guys for taking care of everything. It's great. We haven't had, which is just so ironic, since it's been done, we have not had one heavy rainfall.
It's dry now.
No, I know, it's crazy, it's crazy. So we'll see our first big
First heavy
rainfall.
rain, take a
But
look.
otherwise, they really did a great job. They cleaned up, they put a fence, they took down debris. I mean, it's unbelievable how clean it was.
It takes about 72 to 96 hours for it to drain.
Yes, I know. Well, yeah, we were 72 to 96 days, so ours will be fine. So but I honestly, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I'm speaking on behalf of some of the neighbors, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. All
And
right?
thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Yes,
If residents
yes.
don't, we don't really know.
That's it. You don't know. You don't know. And so rats and water retention is always a fun subject. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, our pleasure. Take care. Is there anyone else that would like to address the governing body? Hi.
I'm Karen Walston, this is Ian Walston, some familiar faces here. I was born and raised born in Summers Point and grew up in Northfield. And I graduated with your brother Tom. from
Yes.
Maryland. And, yes, I know a lot of people. I was a University Delaware. And there you go. We're here because of our son.
Can you speak right in the mic? This way it goes out when we do the broadcast.
Yeah.
Somebody can hear you.
We're here, I guess, basically to raise awareness. We have 2 children that have already gone through the Township school system, and we adopted our son Cameron. You can see on the back of there. We're both very active in the community, always have been. We've had the athlete drivers, sports speed and agility training. My husband played for the Boardwalk Bullies, and that's how we met. He's very involved as well. He's a corrections officer for our state, and I do personal training, and I also take care of our 2 kids that we adopted. He was born drug addicted. He has had a lot of traumas, but the main thing we're here to tell you is that we got to a really scary point where, I don't know if you're aware, but in this state of New Jersey, if you have state insurance, it's 1.5 to 2 years to get into a short-term residential as an adolescent in a mental health crisis.
1.5
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you are an adolescent and you're having a mental health crisis, even if you want to get help or your parents want to get you help, there's no facility available. We talk about school shootings, we talk about all these different things. There's no help out there, even if you want it. We also have my husband's insurance, which he's corrections officer for the state. Even with his insurance, no places. He was in and out of 11 places. First we adopted him when he was 8. We got him help. He did really well. And then the other issue is the school systems. And I really had a hard time wrapping my head around this, but there's a big problem in our school systems. They're taking away services from kids. They're claiming to give services that they're not, and they're not letting kids go away from the school to get their education when they clearly need it. We had to fight. Actually, what we wound up doing is we got to a point, and try to fast forward. He was in and out of 11 of all the wrong places. 11 times, couldn't get to a place where he needed help. And we were told by very good people in the medical field, we know how this is. This is really terrible, but you're going to have to pick your son up. He's going to have to hurt one of your family members or himself, and then maybe you'll get some help. And I've heard this from several very good people in the field, and they just threw their hands up. There's nothing else we can do. And I was like, how do you tell people that every day? I don't understand. That's crazy. Like, we live in the United States of America or in New Jersey. How is this happening? And for what we realized after 1.5 years of our lives being pretty much ruined, it's true. And you call the police come, they can't do anything, it's not their fault, they leave. You bring your child to PIP, which is the emergency room for they tell you, we can't help you unless he's saying he wants to kill himself, even though he has 10 diagnoses and, this and that. There's no places for him to go. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to allow my family to be victims, or my son, because we actually love him and we want to help him. We're not trying to get rid of him. We're not going to do that. So then maybe somebody can do something. We're such a reactive society. Why aren't we helping people before? And I walked into Congressman Van Drew's office, and I'm just saying this, this is no political agenda whatsoever. He was my dentist, but he didn't even know when I walked in there, and Vince Palestino, they both helped us. And he called up the insurance company because I told him that I was to the point where we were being told by doctors that he should not leave, but the insurance companies were saying, too bad, discharge him. And I was thinking of leaving early, not telling my husband, so if he hurt me or hurt himself, that my kids would still have a parent. And Jeff called the insurance companies, and because of pressure and spotlighting them, and of my tenacious, never giving up, fighting for kids and my family, and just the way I am, we finally got him, the insurance company, to agree to a single case agreement, and he's in Lake Ozarks, Missouri, and he's at a fabulous place that doesn't exist in New Jersey or in Philadelphia or anything. And he's finally, when we went there, we had to pay $10,000 out of our own pockets to transport him, even though insurance was paying for it, with a single case agreement. And we had to then fly there. We had to pay for an $8,000 test for him. So long story short is, even though it's wonderful in what Jeff Van Drew did, and he's still standing by our side, there's a whole issue with that. But we also had to fight the school systems. And it is beyond clear that he needed to be going elsewhere. And we sat in meetings after meetings after meetings of lying and just not wanting to do the right thing. And I remember saying to Jeff at one time, and Vince, can't we just make them? It's a law. He goes, well, we can't force them to follow the law. We can only tell, And that's the only way. I started to go to Breaking AC. I started to just talk and go on social media. And I had to get an advocate to sue the school for due process, even though he was going to Missouri in and out of 11 mental health facilities, to give him his money to go. So we're, Ray is a very good friend of ours. My husband traded with his son, and he's just a great community person. And, I was telling you about this. He coached our son. He played lacrosse. He played football. He was in the gifted and talented. There's just no help out there. And it's not only is there no help, but it's our own school systems are literally robbing kids of their own money. The last IEP meeting, I literally sat there. I was exhausted. And I was being totally serious. I said, did you guys go to college? And when you went to college, did you say, I want to help kids, and this is why I want to do this? And I'm like, what happened? Because this is insane. And it's just, you have to, as parents, you have to hire lawyers. And even if you go after the school for doing something, they drag it out long enough, so then you have to pay the attorney's fee. I mean, it's a nightmare. So I'm here to raise awareness about this. I'd be happy to help out in any manner, shape, or form. I've offered to talk to people, and I'm sure, for sure, they know who I am over there, because it's not okay. It's not okay for our children. It's not okay with the mental health. And my son is 14, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in New Jersey and in Pennsylvania, a 14-year-old can sign himself out of a mental health facility against his parents and the doctor and come back and live at your house. And he would have done it. And he will tell you that to this day. So we also are having, my friends own Gregory's, and all my high school friends are getting together and helping us raise some money. In the future, we want to make this a nonprofit, and help other families and other children go to this place.
Before we go any further, because your mic has been cutting in and out.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Actually, what I'd like to do is just read this,
Yeah,
so
please.
people know when it is.
Yeah.
It's called Caring for Cameron fundraiser. Food raffle, live music, and a cash bar. This is going to be at Gregory's up on the porch and in the backyard on October 19th from 4 to 7 p.m. Tickets are $30 a piece. We will have this information here, and we'll
And you can pay.
give it to the clerk's office if we can put it up on our website.
That would be wonderful. You can pay at the door. We also have a GoFundMe, and then we have a Venmo. So, and even if we just, yes, we need, I lost my job. I've had to quit working because I had to find places for my son. All these things. I'm still working part-time, but It affects everybody. And, you know, even just, let's just say my son didn't get to a place because I didn't fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to a school and shot people. Like, it affects everybody. The kids that are there already, you know, and it's, our school system is playing a part in it. The mental health system is playing a part in it. And I think we all
Your
need
husband
to.
works in a prison. He sees the kids that are neglected.
Yeah.
You see it every day.
We've had people say,
Yeah.
just to go to jail and then maybe
But the mental health system,
is
as I know it,
horrendous.
when I came on the police department in 1973, has been broken for a number of years.
And it started to get a little better, and now it's going
That's
down.
right, and you mentioned PIP
Mm-hmm.
or crisis, we're taking them there, they would beat us back to the city before we got done the paperwork in crisis or
Yeah.
PIP.
Yeah.
So-
And we called the emergency number too. And the guy came and said, well, right in front of my son, unless he wants to say he wants to kill himself, we
Right.
can't help you.
Or harm themselves.
Perform care. We've done everything. Everything that is out there.
And I know with Mr. Ellis, I can tell you this, I've never seen anyone advocate for children more than he has.
Oh, yeah. He's amazing.
So,
And
and
I'm-
he also knows the
yeah.
school, so both Mr. Hudson and Mr. Ellis run the school board, so they know the school side of it.
This place in Missouri, how did you find this? Did Van Drew help with this, or? how-
I found it because as a parent, you're forced to research places.
Okay, so-
I mean, I could be a doctor at this point. Literally, I mean, because it's like life and death here, not only for your son, but for your family, because he comes home, now he's out of his mind, you know, and he's not getting help. So when you have a mental illness and you're not getting help, who knows what you're going to do? And if he's going to hurt himself. So you're like frantically trying to find a place, and you have to call, you have to put in an application. They don't have to take your kid. And we have 2 insurances, and there's just no places after 1 or 2 of all the wrong places, in and out, hospitals, this and that and the other. And then they made him worse. They just recreated his childhood traumas of being in 13 homes in the first 6 years of his life, you know, and it's a nightmare.
How long will he stay in Missouri? I mean,
The place he is for kids is called reactive attachment, but he had traumas. He was born drug addicted, and he had a lot of traumas because he was in foster care. So in 13 homes the first 6 years of his life. That's a lot of
read the
trauma.
back of his-
Yeah. He's so brilliant. Like we just got him help because that's a whole nother thing. DIVUS, DCPP, same deal. They never helped him. We helped him. We got him in CHOP, and we had a good, several years with him. And then once the teen years hit, it just drives these kids right back
So
down.
in Missouri, he'll stay how long? Like,
So it's supposed to be a year minimum.
Okay.
That's another thing is the insurance company break a lot of laws. You know, they said the next thing they're going to try to kick him out right away as soon as he makes a little progress. And there's the mental health parity law, which is basically if you had cancer and the treatment was for a year, they would pay for it. It should be the same for mental health. And, you know, on a recorded line, these insurance companies are like, yeah, we never do that. I said, well, you're breaking the law.
Explain to
Yeah.
them how often you go down there.
We have to go every 3 months, and yeah, so we have to fly, pay for that, you know, and you have to participate because it's part of, we would anyway, but I'm just saying, like, it's just very costly. All of this is very costly. We're going to do it regardless, but it's just, it's a shame with 2 insurances that that's the length of, and most people don't have either the knowledge or just the tenacity I have, I guess.
There's a lot of families that don't have what, she's been able to do, or connections, what we've been able to do. And
I definitely would like to share the information I learned because I'm not even exaggerating, 10 to 12 hours a day. I was working to find places and calling places and what I need to do and how I need to do it. And you're just in a panic. And I found this place called Embark, and they told me about this place, Kalo. I researched it. I knew so much about the school systems and what they needed, but they hadn't done anything with New Jersey yet. So I just kept sending it to Van Drew, the school. I said, let's do this. We'll be the first people. Why not? Let's do it. And then finally, Jeff said, all right, let's do it. And then they had to go meet with pension and benefits, and they were trying to do everything they could. But I'm telling you, Jeff Van Drew, he's a stand-up man because I'm going to stay with you because now we have to hire a lawyer. We had to hire a lawyer because they're going to try to kick him out as soon as he makes some progress. That's what happens in drug rehabs and alcohol rehab, all that. It's the same here. So they call it quality of care check. That's not what it is. It's called, they made a progress, let's get them out, So I called them on that. I talked to them about that. They have it open-ended, but we have to have a lawyer on retainer ready to fight them for when they try to kick him out before he's ready.
Well, Mayor, I invited them to come here to present this to committee because this committee is a part of, like, we're part
Yeah.
of the community, and we need to know these things.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure the
And even Jeff,
committee
they didn't
will
know.
support,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah.
I'm glad you.
We right. I really appreciate you, and you have a big heart, and we need more people like you. Honestly,
How big's the facility?
that's the only reason I'm here, because I talked to
Well, I'm
him.
glad you did, because
Yeah.
this is gonna be broadcast, and that's why we're
Yeah.
gonna, because that mic has been in and out.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
sorry,
we're gonna make sure
and I don't
this
have the
gets
loudest
out,
voice.
You know, whatever
Yeah,
we can.
I appreciate it.
How big's the facility in Missouri? I mean, how many children are,
We were like, I can't believe we're going to the Ozarks, because you know that Netflix
is it
show.
like
This is
a ranch
crazy.
setting?
It's beautiful
show.
up there.
It
I'd
is.
say
It's
there's
really nice.
60 kids there right now, and
Okay.
that's just on.
It's a big, large
There's a
facility,
girls
everything?
facility and a boys.
They have canine therapy dogs. It's a huge facility in the
Okay.
sense of they have what they need to get these kids where if you're going to spend 2 years trying to get better, they have
A year or
the
two, yeah.
therapists.
The types of therapies, they have neurofeedback therapy. Like, so basically when we got there, and I was trying to tell people this, but not in a medical way, I couldn't reiterate it to them, is that he was being tossed all around. They're like, well, he's got to really want it and this, that. I'm like, I know he can't, he's stuck. I'm not making excuses. I'm the last person to make excuses. And when he got there, they're like, he couldn't receive any therapy because his brain was in what's called fight or flight. And you don't even, the part of your brain that receives knowledge and learns and everything isn't even available. So they had to calm his nervous system down enough and do this neurofeedback. And I'm telling you, we saw it happen. Calm down like we've never seen him ever. And we are now having therapy through video there. Like we meet once a week with the therapist and the family therapist, and we do groups. You know, it's like a support group, and then you have all this stuff that, you know, literature and stuff that you learn and you go through. And then we go every 3 months for like a week for retreats, and we do stuff with him there, and it's like a gradual process. I would love to open one of them here, but I
Modern
don't.
medicine and all of this could, because, you know, poor Cameron, what he went through and, you know,
Yeah.
being born
I know.
an addict, it's just heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Can modern medicine eventually reverse all of that over 2, 3, 4, 5
Well,
years? Or?
It's interesting because I ask anybody and everybody. I was in Pennsylvania. I think I was at the University of Pennsylvania with my dad because he has kidney cancer, and they had like this opioid table. Maybe I can't remember where. I think that's where it was. They were adding in a pharmacy for, I guess, people in recovery or something like that. And I said, telling her about my son, she goes, "Oh, well, in like 10 years they'll probably have something." Well, that's too late. Like, I can't wait, you know. But nobody. It's interesting because nobody even addresses that he was born drug addicted.
Yeah, right.
And that's
And
like
it comes
damages
down,
your brain.
unfortunately,
Heroin, cocaine. He was
They
there.
look at it as money. And
Yeah.
a lot of these things, it's dollars
You
and
want to feed the
cents.
pharmaceuticals too. You probably don't want him to
No.
be
Yeah.
any kind of medication,
Right.
but to get his mind past the
process.
trauma he had
Right.
as a young boy
Yep.
to now the life he should lead.
Yes.
So that's that's the frustrating.
Yeah. So he was unable to even receive everything that people were throwing at him. And then once now we got him to a state, and now we're proceeding, and he's now it's like he still has to want it, you know. But it's just a shame because everybody failed him since the beginning, up and you know, and it's just he's a really special kid. Yeah.
It'd be good
Yeah.
to know the background of this place in Missouri.
Yes.
Because you look at St. Jude's and all these other
Yeah.
outfits, and we don't have much of that other than hospitals here.
Yeah, no, there's nothing like this. This place, and it was started by an adoptee and adopter professionals that were, one was adopted and one had adopted. And they called it Change Academy of Lake of the Ozarks. Now Embark now bought into it, and I think they said they possibly opened one in Arizona, but they wanted to keep the name of this because this is the origin, but they have the right concepts of everything. I mean, I could talk for hours about it, but I don't, you know, you don't have that time, but.
Well, I think that,
Real
Yeah.
quick, when she told me this story, it kind of touched my heart because I had a younger little sister who died, you know, in a situation like this, and I raised a niece and nephew when they were 10 and 12 years old, and they didn't move out till they were 30, you know. So, and like I say, anything for the kids, we got to address and just make sure, you know, I want you to come there to advertise. I told you I'll be out that weekend, but I will support it. So, you know, that's what we need, support. And you praise you and blessings for y'all because you're doing the right thing, and I know it's not easy.
Not easy, but.
you know what Put these on. Is there, well, there's a Venmo you can do, but is there a website or any information, a spot?
Yeah,
Somebody
we
wants
do
more
have a
information?
Facebook page now. It's Caring for Cameron on Facebook.
Okay, all right, so this is,
A lot
that's, so
of
that's
old
your
people
Facebook.
don't do Facebook.
Well, old people do Facebook. We don't do Snapchat and all this.
All right, Caring for Cameron's on Facebook.
Yes,
So-
and then there is a GoFundMe link on the Facebook, and there's a Venmo, and then you can also
Yeah,
just
Caring for Cameron.
do at the door, or just getting it out. Like I feel really weird about asking people for money because I don't like to do that. I worked my whole life, but for my son and for the better, and I just,
You don't
There's
know
so
what the
many things.
contribution he's going to give to society down the road.
yeah,
You
and
know,
that's
you're
what we
saving
tell
your life
him,
and
yeah.
your family and the siblings that he has are seeing all this.
Well,
And
we want
they're going to change the world too as they go forward with this. They understand the mental health.
Who do you
mental
deal
health.
with the Gregory's? Gregory or the boys?
Well, I know Paul Wise and Gregory,
Okay.
and Greg Gregory, and Carrie Gregory, and Paul Gregory. We all graduated with John's brother, Tom.
And you were a board
1991.
bully, which I used to love to go to those.
Well, I wish I ran back.
Yeah.
I graduated with Greg, the father,
So,
Oh, Greg, yeah, he's the
on
character.
Wall.
He's
Schools
awesome.
back there?
No.
Yeah, they had the little
We worked on a
bar.
farm.
They had the little bars back there.
Were you a horse person? Joanne Drain? Did you know Joanne Drain?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I know you, because
Well,
I used to ride
wasn't a
horses.
horse person. but
You're
I was
white.
at their horse farm all the time.
Right, because I used to ride, Debbie was my trainer.
Oh, okay.
well, good, we will put this
I will
out.
tell
Thank
Wish
you.
all the best.
Thank you
and-
so much. And if anybody has any questions or whatever I can do to help out and spread the word, I'd be
We have
happy.
contact information
Yep.
here now, and I'll put also the
Thank
Facebook
you.
page people can reach you.
I really appreciate your time.
I
Thank
wish
you.
you all the
Hey,
best.
excuse me, Mayor, can we do one thing before they leave?
Well,
At least
that's what it
we
is.
usually have a packed time. Can we sing happy birthday to you? Hi, man. Come on. At least somebody, Mayor, come on. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
That's why I wore it.
Happy birthday, dear Mayor. Happy birthday to you. And
Well,
Mayor,
thank you, everybody. Oh, you got it.
Oh, you got to put it on.
you get your Mary all the time.
Stand up.
There you go.
That's it. That's it.
Thank you. The colors are green for mental health and blue for foster care.
Oh, that's
And it's
wonderful.
all mainland alumni who helped me do this. My friend who does graphic art, and Carrie who does Gregory's, and we all, and Wendy who does Easter signs, made flyers, and we all graduate together, and we plan on doing it every year.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, boy, this
Just
just
trying to go quiet here on that one.
Now back to your.
All righty. Is there anyone else who would like to address the governing body? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Guys, we're done. Township committee reports. Mr. Pauls,
Going to give you my last report on the bridge on Mason.
I hope that's the last report, yes.
Was out there, ran into the county engineer. They got a short punch list, and it should be open within the next 5 to 6 days. Happened to be talking to County Administrator Jerry, and he was giving me updates on the job. Job actually is 4 months ahead of schedule, which is good for everybody in Egg Harbor Township. So within the next week, punch list should be done. They did go around to all the homeowners and check with them, make sure everything was all right. One of the houses had a drain that was busted during construction. They're taking care of that, so should be good to go.
That's wonderful.
And I did have to tell the mayor happy birthday, but I was already beat.
I got serenaded, I can't beat that, thank you.
I won't say the age, but I do have the age there. Happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
Now you gotta say.
You better not.
29 plus a few,
That's
leaving
it.
it at that. Mr. Ellis,
I forgot to pay. 2 things. First, I'd like to acknowledge the Chief of Police for Egg Harbor Township. We as committee and we as people will always see call them in with negative things and bad things. So let's call them in and praise them with good things. You have a very professional, dedicated police department under your leadership. You can tell that the guys are willing to work. There's no attitudes. I mean, you're doing a great job, Chief. So we'll be the first thing to tell you when you do bad. So let's be the first to tell you when you're doing good. Thank you, Chief, for your service. All right. Number two, I had to dress up a little bit for the breast cancer awareness. My sister was a teacher in Egg Harbor Township for 35 years, and she died of cancer. And this month is very special to me, but not only for breast cancer, I want to make it special. Maybe next month we have men's month. Men, go to the doctor. We as men will buy a new car every 6,000 miles, change the oil. We'll make sure we have pressure in our tires. We'll make sure we change the spark plugs. We'll make sure the car's tuned up, but we won't make sure our body is tuned up. So let's make for EHT, November EHT, take your butt to the doctor's month. You know, we have to continue to help. I went to a couple meetings about some youth in town, and our men are not visible to guide these youths, and a lot of them, they say, are out of control because they have nothing to see but their own peers, and their own peers don't have a clue what life's all about, so they do negative things. So what I'm trying to say is, next month, go to the doctors. You know, we'll go to Pep Boys, but we won't go to the doctors. And hopefully next month, let's just say that's EHT men's, take your butt to the doctor.
I like that. You know, we have November is No Shave November in the police department.
Hello?
I think we can go right off of that.
That's
line.
it.
It's like No Shave November
Hey,
and
go
take
to
your
the
butt to the
doctor.
doctor.
Yeah.
I think that's very good advice.
Yeah.
Very good advice. Mr. Hodson.
I can't touch that. Again, with the police department, yesterday there was a pretty significant fire on Tyler Drive or whatever, and knowing that Anthony lived over there, I showed up. And again, the homeowners were ecstatic about the service that we got out of our volunteer fire department. Barbertown's right down the road. They were there in minutes of electrical fire that could have been turned into something worse. But again, to the public safety, that's what it's about. We got to provide public safety, police, fire, rescue. That's what people depend on. They need their help. We have to provide it. And to Ray, you're exactly right. We got to take care of ourselves. You're looking at what's going on in North Carolina. That's not too far away from us. We have water around us all the time. And when it rains, if it rained 30 inches, it's got to go somewhere. And that's a tragedy, that area of North Carolina, and what they're going through. It'll be years, if not 30, 40 years before they ever get back to normal. So we got to take care of our community, and Chief, your guys do a good job, and I do have a question for you after the meeting, but I won't bring it up publicly.
Okay, Mr.
No report this month.
No report. Well, I've got a couple. First, I want to thank all of you. That was very kind. Appreciate it, right?
I know why I was at Prospect.
That's a new suit.
He's somewhere. I didn't see him.
The other night, we lost a member of our family, David Austin. He was a 30-year EMT. He went home after a 12-hour shift, laid down and didn't wake up. So we just want to give our condolences to his family, to thank him and to thank his family for the service that he gave the citizens of this town and our neighboring towns. And when you see our first responders, police, fire, EMT, these people give their lives for us. Who knows what that man had that night, how heavy a load he carried, whatever happened. But every day our law enforcement, our firemen, and our EMTs go out to save us or to help us. So please, when you see them, always remember to say thank you. When the firemen do the fund drives, they are volunteers. Please make sure that you contribute to your local firehouse. Bargaintown Fire Company Monday night had their open house where you could see controlled burns, you could see the jaws of life at work. You know, the kids could play on the houses they set up. And it's an opportunity to talk to a fireman one-on-one. October is Fire Prevention Month. So, but to all of our EMTs, first responders, police, fire, just thank you. Chief, send it to your men. It's important, and women, because they do so much for us, and it takes a toll. We talked about mental health just a little bit ago. It takes a toll on our people, so we just want to say thank you to all of them. And we do want to wish David's family a thank you to him and for his service to this town.
Do you know when the service is, Chief?
I haven't seen them announced yet. I tried to find it this afternoon and I have not seen them.
When I get that, I'll make sure everybody.
Okay, that will be good. We also have on Monday night, we have a meeting with the State Department of Transportation about the road in West Atlantic City. This has to do with the state wanting to raise the road for a 2-mile segment of West Atlantic City. Then they're going to stop and then they're going to go to Wellington Avenue in Atlantic City and raise it there. But it's an information session. It starts at 5 o'clock and it goes till 8 o'clock at the community center on English Creek Road. The state will be there. They'll have their plans that they want to do. What we're looking for is the public's input, comments, questions, support, against, whatever it is. But bring your questions out and let's see what the state can do to tell us. Because as Paul just alluded to, North Carolina and the floodings in West Atlantic City are occurring more frequently. I mean, it used to be just the major storms. Now with very high tide, it's flooded for a couple of days. And these people can't get in or out once they're in their homes at night. They can't get out. So there's issues out there. The state's got to give us their plan, and they're willing to take any and all questions that we have. So come on out. So again,
It's this Monday.
that's this Monday, October 7th, 5 o'clock at the community center.
I just want to, Lord, that's a good point. We've been talking about West Atlantic City for a number of years. The state apparently is moving or wants to move. But we have to be concerned with the water and the water table over there. That's the problem. Raising the road will take care of their problem, but it won't take care of our community. And as we're watching, if we look at the news of what North Carolina went through with 30 inches of rain, that's just a tidal event with the moon or winds at the right direction. It's not any rain. So to the public that has concern with the flooding in West Atlantic City, I know the residents will be there, but everybody should look at it. We live in an area that's quite interesting, and people don't realize it. Somers Point's a peninsula. They're surrounded by water. I know that because I was a cop there for years. If it rains hard and it hides up, the water goes nowhere. So the thing is, everybody should pay attention to it, because I'm sure the people in North Carolina, in the western part of that state, always thought that little river, a little stream would hold the water. It didn't. It flooded, and that's what killed these people. They drowned. Nothing else killed them. The wind didn't kill them. They drowned in water.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and our concern as a municipality is the residents on both sides of the road. The state's concern is evacuation and getting in and out of Atlantic City. Our concern is the residents that go on both sides of this road. We don't want them flooded out any more than they already are, and we need to see what kind of solutions the state may or may not have for this. So Monday night, folks. And anybody else? Tom?
All good,
No.
Mayor. Thank you.
John?
Nothing for the good of the order.
Chief?
No, thank you for the kind sentiments and compliments towards our police, but it's not just our police, it's all like Commitment Hudson, it's really all of our first responders. So our volunteer fire, EMS, God bless our fire department, because when I talk to other towns that have paid fire, and what I see, as far as our fire department being called out on this daily, and that's volunteer hours. So, I mean, that speaks volumes, and I think our citizens should recognize that, because they are volunteers. Where other towns have the luxury of paid fire, and as well as their EMS.
Our department isn't any slower than a paid department. They're faster. I can prove it. I listen all the time to a paid department. So we're very, very fortunate. And I'll tell you, my hat goes off to any one of the 5 companies. Barbertown, Carlos, Scoville, West Atlantic City, Farmington, they all get the job done. And yesterday on Tyler, the only reason I paid attention, because we know who lives at the end. And it could have been a lot worse. And those people were very, very thankful for Barbertown's fire department, where they were in minutes.
Yeah, they all do announce it.
Our community, as far from a first responder standpoint, when we look at everyone else in Atlantic County, we're rocking and rolling, whether it's fire, EMS.
That's right.
It's a busy town.
Police, our dispatch center, and, as far as the value that we get when compared to other towns, again, they respond to a higher level of calls when compared to our peer agencies. They have a higher level of responsibility with these calls than probably our peers agencies. And times they're probably not compensated to where they should be compared to our sister agencies, and they do more work than the sister agencies. So, Equity Township is, like I said, they're rocking and rolling. I mean, the only one that can maybe we can compare ourselves to is Atlantic City, but that's kind of different.
Let's not ever do that,
No.
please.
No.
Well, Mayor, real quick, like you said, I always give kudos to the fire department. I was a police in Atlantic City, and police, we will go to the calls, 911 fire calls, and we kind of know the response time, and EHT for volunteers is impossible. It's like they got a cape in a phone booth. They jump in there and turn into firefighters. They get to those calls so quick. It's impossible. They have to go home if they're not at home. They have to get dressed. They have to get a car, go to the station, get into a fire truck, and then go to the location. And the timing is unbelievable. So I always praise the fire department. And we had an excellent day at the firehouse. My grandson got to spray the hose, and I got to make a kick out of the
It was a great event.
Yeah, well, I was gonna hit you with
And
the
just for
hose.
the record, we have Chief Fred Spano here. He's not on duty tonight, but we put him to work.
I am on duty, I was in the office, I figured I wanted to come and just be present.
Well, we're glad you're here. Come to every meeting.
Thank you for having me.
Glad you're here. And the information that, I know the mic was cutting in and out for the couple that was speaking about the Karen for Cameron fundraiser. We'll have this information up. I'll have it on my Facebook page, and we can share it so people know that this is a cause that is definitely worth it. And anybody else? No, nothing else? All righty, so let's keep,
Excuse me, Mayor, one more thing. The high school's having a car show.
well, this weekend.
Was
Yeah.
this what you missed?
10, they hosted a car show at the high school. This one is the car show on 10/27,
Okay.
24. This is, yeah. I'll get more information because it's the 27th, but I know I asked them to be here tonight to explain. This is for the Boy Scouts or something like that.
Well, we're reading those. I've got one here too that we can put on the record. And Chief, I think the police department's going to be here at our community center on Thursday, October 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. We're having an event called EHT Let's Talk. It's a drug awareness and prevention workshop. Let's see if you have to register. There's going to be people here. I'm sorry I have this. I was going to print it and I didn't. There's going to be a 7 p.m. panel discussion surrounding illicit drugs and marijuana. There's going to be police officers, school district employees, recovery professionals, and local community members all speaking and trying to make sure that we find a way to help our kids and to give them a hands up and families the resources they need if they find themselves in a position where they need help.
Where is this?
At the community center on October 17th. It's a Thursday. So, and that's it. Figuratively. And I think that's it tonight for reports. Tom, do we have a need for a closed session?
We do, ma'am, and we may come out of close and take action.
So we might
So
take
we-
action, so you're gonna have
So
to
he's gonna
stay.
have to hang
Okay.
out. It'll be brief.
Okay.
So, Resolution 442, authorizing the Township Committee to convene into closed executive session to discuss matters which may involve personnel and/or legal matters. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in a certain circumstance, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss matters involving personnel and/or legal matters as follows. I have a personal matter update that I want to hit you with. Anticipated disclosure 1 year. Legally, I have a potential purchase of property, anticipated disclosure 1 year, and potential litigation, anticipated disclosure 1 year. Whereas the minutes will be kept, and once the matter of evolving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be it resolved by Township Committee, Township of Egg Harbor, County of Atlantic, and State of New Jersey, that the public be excluded from this meeting.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Cordero?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Hodson?